Assalamu alaikum, Brother Reed.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Very good. Thank you for coming to Belmont Masjid today and sharing your story about converting to Islam. So, how long have you been in the United States, Reed?
24 years.
Oh, so you were born and raised?
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you accept Islam or convert to Islam?
2007, I think.
You think?
Yeah. Some people keep track. I'm not one of those guys who keeps track of the day and the year. And
So you can't remember?
it's got to be 5 years. It's got to be older than my kid and my wife. You know
Oh, okay. Okay, so 2007. Okay, so can you share, how you, I guess before you converted to Islam, how you first heard about Islam?
Yeah. So Malcolm X. We were studying Malcolm X in high school. We were studying Malcolm X in high school, and they mentioned the Quran, they mentioned Islam, and they mentioned Hajj. And so I have no idea what any of these things really are at the time. So it was really confusing. But
what was confusing?
all these
the rituals.
This religion is so in depth with. It's not just like you. It's not like you go to pray on a Sunday and you're done. You close your books and you wait till the next Sunday to go pray. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it had so many things involved in the religion, and what really caught my attention, I guess, kind of grabbed the attention of really my heart, was Hajj.
And the Hajj is the
pilgrimage that every Muslim has to take to the city of Mecca.
If they're financially and physically capable.
Right. So, what's beautiful about Hajj, what really caught my attention was everyone's dressed in the white cloth ihram, I think, right? And because everyone's in that color, you can't tell if they're poor or rich. It's the whole mentality, kind of I guess in a way it's kind of tribalism mentality that a lot of people carry. Hajj erases that. You can't even think like that. So it totally takes that away. So that's what caught my attention, especially since I was in high school. I studied a lot about the Black Panther movement, all these movements involved in the 60s, and the racism and the civil rights movement and stuff like that. So I just thought it's interesting that a religion actually teaches that everyone's created equal. So.
Well, that's interesting that you bring up. So what attracted you to studying about, I guess, the history during the civil rights movement?
Because we live in San Francisco, around San Francisco, and it was a big deal over here. And it's kind of our history in California. It's a big part of it. And there was a lot of movements in Berkeley and things like that, where people were discussing these and protesting. And it's part of our history in California. So it's what attracted me too. It's wow, this all happened in Oakland and Berkeley and these cities in San Francisco, and we live right near it. So it's how can you not want to study your history? Right.
Okay, so after, I guess, so when you what did you do, I guess, extra studies maybe, after you learned about the Hajj in school? What did you do next?
Yeah, basically, maybe a year later, I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up the Quran that they carry.
Oh, what year? Do you remember what year that was?
What year was it?
Yeah.
It must have been 2002.
Wow, okay.
So, I was still in high school at the time.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah. So.
So you started, so you went to Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I forget who writes it, but I had a friend who told me it's not a very well done translation.
Okay.
It has some issues that are major issues.
Right. Okay. So you
started
studying.
That. Yeah, I would just read that. I don't know. I don't really like to call it studying. I read it like it was a book. You know what I mean? And I just thought there's something pure about it though. At the same time, and how it's composed is interesting.
Okay. Okay. And then what happened?
Oh, and then I guess just doing that on and off, reading the Quran on and off, and. I had a girlfriend who was, her father was a Baptist preacher, and they came here from Cincinnati, and so then religion became more of a topic. They were always telling me, "Oh, are you going to become Christian? Da 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 da." because at the time I was technically Catholic. Okay, so I'm like, no, I'm really like looking for a religion. I'm telling them I just don't know which one's the right one. And we had a conversation at a park, me and my girlfriend, and she was saying, like, what does your dad think about Muslims, right? And she says, well, they're going to hell. And I was like, in my mind, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make her mad. In my mind, I was like, wow, this is shocking. What did they do? Because I always based it on character, and I always thought Muslims had the best character. So, and then we broke up, and then in 2007 I joined the Navy. And during that time, I was still trying to figure myself out, and I joined the Navy. I was supposed to be shipped out August 22nd, 2007. So at that time, about a month before, it must have been June or July actually when I took my Shahada. And when I took my Shahada, I found Islam through Google. So
whoa, so that was August of what year?
August 22nd, I was supposed to leave the United States to go, well, not the United States, but to go to boot camp.
Okay.
But before that, I was really looking into Islam as a religion, and because that whole conversation with my ex-girlfriend or whatever really sparked my attention. So so then I was looking it up, and I go onto Google, and I'm like, how do you take? I used to search, how do you take your Shahada? And there are people like, oh, all you have to say, you know, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Rasulullah, which means there is no God but God, and that Muhammad is the messenger of God. And I was like, well, that's easy. I don't have to take a bath or anything. So, but then I just didn't. I said it on the computer, but I didn't feel comfortable. I'm like, I want to do this with someone who's Muslim, because I wanted to be. I'm like, there's got to be a community around here. Turns out, about 2 miles away, there's a mosque from my house. So I called up the office of the mosque, and the mosque, which was the imam at the time, his name was Imam Abdurrahman Anwar. He's like, yeah, just come over, take a shower, you know, because it's like a fresh. We take a shower because it's like your fresh start into basically your new life. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there. And he had to go somewhere too, so he was calling me like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm almost there. I just can't find it because our mosque over here is not labeled. There's nothing saying like this is a mosque. It looks just like a random building. So once I took my Shahada, it was actually it was the strangest feeling I've emotionally have ever felt in my life. It's that we hear it all the time. And it's kind of cliche, but it's like a rock is taken from your chest and removed. From that, it's like a big relief. It's a huge relief, subhanAllah. So yeah, so that's how I became Muslim, basically.
That's awesome. Well, Reed, that's beautiful, and inshallah, hopefully in the future we'll have more interviews, and I'm sure people, you know, will put this online and see what maybe some comments are from, you know, people around the world, and if they have questions for you, then we can do a follow-up.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Reed.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.